Thank you very much. Hello everyone, this is Rick with XYZ Modeling and Graphics. I first want to start off by saying I hope everyone's doing okay out there. I know the world's a crazy place right now, and thankfully we've got this X-Wing model build to help take our mind off things for a little bit. I just wanted to let everyone know I have received my month number 17, but today we are going to look at painting and stenciling exclusively, and I'll get to month 17 in my next video. So everybody knows by now that I will be diverting from the red 5 X-Wing design and going with the green Corsec. And I'm going to be taking this in little pieces here. So first of all, we're going to be starting with the nose cone. Got a couple of different colors to work with, the dark gray Tamiya and the flat black. And to create the paint chipping effects, I'm going to be using some liquid latex in order to achieve that. So as you can see here, I've laid down my dark gray coloring, and around the edges I applied liquid latex. And the reason why I'm doing that is so when I apply the flat black paint, which is what I'm doing right now, I'll be able to peel away that latex and it will reveal the dark gray undercoat. So the black will be the dominant color and the dark gray will be the undercolor, which is represented in the artwork, which is I'm basically basing this paint job off of. And I'm going to try to duplicate it as much as possible. And you'll see as we continue on in this project, there are a lot of different colors to use to achieve the look that I'm going for. But to start off with, I'm starting with the black and dark gray primer, or correction, just dark gray Tamiya. I did lay down a layer of primer prior to the dark gray application. So I didn't want to show that in the video. Just know that prior to me painting any of these surfaces that there is a layer of primer that goes down first. So as you can see here, I'm airbrushing, and I've got that black, the flat black in there, and I'm trying to get it down as evenly as possible. I know it looks a little heavy in some spots, but it does dry fairly evenly, as we will see here in just a moment. But just make sure you get a good layer, an even layer, but a good layer over the entire nose cone. And once that paint dries, we'll be able to start peeling it away. And like what I'm doing right now, the latex will peel away or rub away. I tried with my fingers, and that's not too bad of a technique to remove it. But as you can see here, I have a toothpick that's helping me out to scratch away that layer of latex to reveal the gray undercoat. It takes a little bit of time, but you just have to work at it a little bit. Now it's really easy to overdo this type of technique, so just if you do decide to use the liquid latex to achieve this paint chipping effect, just know that a little bit goes a long way. And I'm looking at this, and I may have gone a little bit overboard, so there could be some changes overall or in my end result, but the technique that I use will still be the same. And even though you may attempt this and it's not right, or you may not like it the first time, you can always go back and redo it. Just ensure that you remove all the latex that you applied the first time, so that when you go at it again, you'll achieve a look that you're comfortable with. And here we are with the finished product. And here is the look that I was trying to achieve. Now, same thing with the canopy. I'm going to use the same technique, but my base color being the stainless steel color, which is an enamel paint, to answer the question that was asked of me previously. And yes, this liquid latex is also good for the canopy, which I'm going to use pretty much the same technique to try to achieve that same look. And as you can see here, I was able to get that chipping effect looking fairly decent. Now, during the course of my build, I'm going to be using 3 different techniques. One is stenciling, water slide decals, and dry rub decals. Today we're going to focus on stencils. We'll be creating a stencil for the wing, the Corsec logo. And there are a lot of graphic design programs out there, and I've used a few, but for this job I want to use AutoCAD. That's what I like to do when I'm creating 2-dimensional shapes like this. And I start off by scaling, and the process that I use to do that is by photographing the model and putting a reference measurement there, which I have, the 114 millimeters roughly, and scale everything down, or scale the photograph up to that size, and basically make my design overlay on top of the drawing to get my design to scale. Now, since I'm going off the drawing that I've been displaying in my previous issues, I'm kind of just eyeballing this, getting everything colored and roughly the way I would like to see it presented on the wing. So at this stage, I'm really just feeling things out and seeing how well they're going to fit. So now that I'm somewhat satisfied with the design, I'm going to go ahead and create my stencil. And in this case, I'm using Design Space and the Cricut vinyl cutter, which is available here in the US. I would assume that it's available overseas in Europe and other places around the world. Hopefully you'll have something similar. But once I have that design uploaded, I press the magic button and off she goes. This is a fairly new device for me. I've never used a Cricut before until this project, but I do like the way the way the end result is, and you'll see here pretty soon. The quality is quite good, and I imagine I'll be using it quite frequently with future projects. So now that my design has been cut out, I need to go through and weed the design. So I'm taking out all the negative spaces here so that when I spray paint, this logo theoretically should pop up perfectly. So this is a really good vinyl that I'm using. I did a little bit of research on the web to find out which vinyls are best for this type of application. And if anybody is interested in knowing what this type of vinyl is and the details of this product, just let me know. But for now, I'm just trying to keep things simple. So here's the stencil that I created, and next I'm going to bring that into the transfer paper, which is just a clear adhesive that will pick up this entire stencil and allow me to transfer it to the wing. And it's a delicate process, and those of you who are familiar with the Cricut are probably realizing that I should have taken this off the Cricut pad first, but I like doing things the hard way apparently. But I do manage to get this stencil up and off the backing of the vinyl here. It just takes a little bit of finesse, a little bit of massaging to make sure that whole thing comes up with one piece. And there you have it. So next is going to be taking this stencil and transferring it to the wing. So I like this transfer paper. It's see-through, so you can kind of get things lined up. And here I simply put things into position where I think they might look the best. Next, we load up our green paint. In this case, I'm using the Vallejo Medium Olive as suggested by Mordraka. Thank you, sir. This color was available at my local hobby shop. And here we go. I'm going to go ahead and apply a coat. And this paint was a little bit thick, so I'm having a little bit of difficulty with it, but it's not too bad. I just didn't thin it out enough. But I'm not too worried about it. What I'm doing here is just getting a sense of how things are going to look. This isn't necessarily the end result, but I did want to get a good feel for how well the color would contrast with the stainless steel color. And I applied a little bit of paint chipping effects to it just to kind of get a sense of how that's going to look as well. So yeah, I got a little bit of tweaking to do. I might reposition this decal slightly, or not decal, I'm sorry, stencil. But next time you see this picture or this model, it'll be a little bit more finished than it is right now. But thanks for joining me today. I hope this episode kind of gave you some ideas and some inspiration. And I'll be returning really soon with month number 17. In the meantime, God bless, and